Hey, Dean, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Congrats on this latest movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Thank you. I had a blast doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I was curious, I was wondering if you and Lisa maybe behind the scenes did any sort of double date type things with Edie and Brian, either before, during, or after filming.
It's the most bonding cast I think I've ever been with in such a short time. Lisa
Oh,
and I and Parker Posey all shared a house together, and Edie
oh,
Falco was right next to us. And oh man, I mean, I had so much fun offset. We had, film. We would watch, movies nights. We had game nights. We would all go out to eat together. The boys would
nice.
come over and play games, and sometimes we cook. Parker would cook sometimes,
Nice.
uh, and we just had so much fun. And we had these off-camera improvised things, like things that we kept doing. Uh, like Parker and I pretended like we had this affair, and now we were feuding. So like we just make people laugh because she was so good at this improv that wasn't even in the movie. It had nothing to do with the movie, but it
Right.
was off camera, and we kind of brought that. And Lisa Kudrow and we would just sit around, and people would say stuff, and we would improvise and just go off and make each other laugh. So it was great.
That's
It was a
great.
great cast. It was a great friendship, and we're still all in touch together to this day. So.
That's great to hear. And with the story, all the craziness aside, I mean, for you approaching the dynamic with the future in-laws and all that, did any of those like kind of unsettling family dynamics strike a nerve in you? Being a real life parent, did any of the family dinners sitting down with the
The
other
other
parents,
other
did
parents,
any of
yeah.
that where you're like,
I
oh,
think.
I've kind of been there, or maybe not, I don't know.
Well, I haven't been there in that extreme, but I do know that when it's tough enough for two people to get married, but then what you're really marrying is two families. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? So I know the dynamic of that, and I have sisters who've been married, and so I've seen all the dynamics of how you know difficult it may be to adjust this family with this family and blah blah blah. So I've seen all that and experienced some of it, but and so I brought that
Yeah.
to this, but obviously not the my in-laws have never been possessed by a fucking 400-year-old poltergeist,
Oh,
so that makes it a little more difficult.
yeah.
Adds a little difficulty till they get to know each other.
Yeah, right. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I also want to ask because I saw this movie recently on Netflix, the Carry On, which I thought was such a, is such a big, everyone watched it, loved it, and I was
Yeah.
curious. It seems like it could very much have sequel potential. I was curious if you would be interested in joining that if something took shape down the line.
Oh yeah, certainly will. I would. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope the parenting has a sequel called the grandparenting when the two boys have a baby. I think that would be a fun.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, they could find another like weekend escape, and that,
Yeah.
of course, is haunted.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And then, of course, keeping busy on Law and Order Organized Crime, which, I'm a huge fan of that franchise. I was curious what it's like working with the great Chris Meloni, and what do you like about playing your character Randall?
Oh man, I love that. It's coming up April 17th is the fifth season starts.
Yeah.
Chris and I, that's another. It's so much fun. As I've been in this business through the years. Chris and I did a movie together, a small movie called Small Time, about two used car salesmen, and that was about 10 years ago. And I just loved him. We just had great chemistry together. So it was just serendipitous and awesome that they called me to play his brother, and I could not be more thrilled, because I didn't necessarily want to play a cop on one of those things, and now I get to play this really different kind of character, this psychologically, interesting guy, and it's so much fun to play with Chris. And we also do a bit of improvising on that.
Oh,
In
nice.
fact, quite a bit. We definitely we get the essence of the scene and what the what the writers do, but we'll go off, and it's always and I trust him, and he trusts me, and it's really a fun show to do. So
Well, that's awesome. Well, great.
yeah,
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of it. And in the meantime, congratulations again on the parenting. I can't wait for everyone else to see it.
thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.